Flux Motorsport IndyCar Championship race at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca in Monterey, California. It is round 7 of 8 in the championship. I'm your host tonight, Carlin Hicks, and we are glad to have you here. We get myself retired and spectated onto our monitor as we are just starting the 20-minute qualifying session prior to the 45-minute championship event. I'll give you a rundown here in qualifying of the running order, obviously coming down to the final 2 rounds of the championship. And I believe we're going to see a fantastic event here as these guys roll out for qualifying. Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, located in north central California on the Monterey Peninsula between Salinas and Monterey. It is a 2.23 mile, 11 turn circuit. The 2.23 mile, 11 turn circuit, made up, of course, of the infamous corkscrew. And I believe it's 190 feet in the neighborhood of a 190-foot drop and elevation change over the total of the track, which makes it a very unique challenge in North American motorsports. We'll give you a track walk here in qualifying. As we can see, track markers and debris, or track marshals are going to be pretty busy here today. Having a few audio issues here with the microphones tonight. PSN been acting up over here stateside a little bit, and when I hear that noise and crackling, I'm timing it out. So bear with me, viewers, if I have to mute it down. I will still be on the cameras. Losing my sound a little here from time to time, but in the meantime, let's take a look at our points tables. Said we're going to take a look. There's Cat Guy obviously making some changes in the pit in the 61 PureTech Dallara Chevy. He is your points leader, comes in with a comfortable 28-point lead, and if he can gain 10 points on Green Gaming tonight, he will clinch the championship prior to the final round at Texas Motor Speedway. Hey, we got Immortalis here with us tonight. Glad to see that. Dominic cheering for Jeff. We'll talk about Jeff here a little bit too in the broadcast. But Cat Guy now out. As I said, he has a 28-point lead. He leads here with a 38-point lead. He will clinch the inaugural Flux Motorsport IndyCar Championship. Cat Guy has raced this season with a torn bicep. He's now racing with a severely twisted ankle. So he said, don't expect too much tonight, but all he needs is a consistent drive. He was 50 points ahead coming into last week when he had some trouble at Watkins Glen. Second place in the points right there in the, I believe, the number 5 car, number 5 Honda. That is Green Gaming. Green Gaming, number 5 Honda, 5th place in the points. He had a podium finish last week at Watkins Glen. He also got on the podium at Long Beach, and so I fully expect to see Green Gaming has been in quite a few incidents this season, but he has also managed to fix the car. He's managed to grind through them and has consistently finished in or near the top 5, along with those couple of podiums. So he comes in here tonight 28 points back, and if he can gain some significant ground on Cat Guy, he is still alive for that championship. Third place in the points, 44 back in the number 9 Target Dallara Chevy, is Dale the Whale. Dale the Whale was your winner at Willow Springs earlier this season and has been very, very quick. Yeah, just getting word from trackside. Thanks for that report, Immortalis. Green Gaming getting close to the 12 license points in the season, so to keep his championship alive, he's also got to keep it clean here today, and that's definitely something to look for. Back to Dale the Whale, though, in third. Back to Dale the Whale, though, in third, 44 points back. He had the win at Willow Springs. He has been fast. He has multiple pole positions this season, but has been in a couple of incidents, and he's still alive here, certainly for the season podium, and I expect him, as you can see him running second in qualifying right now, to be a definite contender here at this difficult track. Jiggly Jello in the number 20 Dallara Chevy for Carpenter Racing. Jiggly currently sitting 4th in the points, 48 back. He has been steady and consistent all season, has a couple of podium finishes, and is another guy that we expect to see. Oh, as he spins it right there coming out of turn 4. Or turn 3, I should say. So he's got to go back and fix it up. Jiggly's still in contention here as well. Rounding out the 5th spot in the championship is One Shoe there in the number 6 Preferred Insurance car. He's sitting 5th in the points, and he's managed to do that despite the fact that he's been in, he's had some bad luck. He's been hit on the first lap, first corner on at least 2 races this season, yet still has managed to drive his way up to 5th in points, and is still in contention to get that season podium, which he told me before the race was actually his goal. 6th place in points, NZ Jack. He's had 2 fantastic drives this season. I believe 2 second place finishes. We'll all remember the season opener at Long Beach, in which he dueled and finished less than half a second behind Cat Guy at the line. This is a guy that we fully expect to see contending to win races, as he has really made that NTT Data number 10 Chevy, Dallara Chevy, work this season. He is knocking on the door for that win, and currently sitting 3rd in the qualifying order there. 7th place driver Muttley not here tonight. 8th place McToasty, who is fresh off. He's in the number 21 Dallara Chevy. McToasty able to manage his first career IndyCar win last weekend with a fantastic drive from the pole at Watkins Glen, so he looks to make it 2 in a row this week, sitting 8th on the points with a couple of DNSs and some damaged race cars, but he is hot off that win, looking very, very solid. I think he's got that car looking good, and probably making a pit stop, making some changes, and getting ready to come back out and fire it away again. 9th in points is My Name is Jeff. This is a car in the number 15 My Jack Rahal Letterman Honda. This is a guy who's been quick. He has, I believe, 2 or 3 front row qualifying starts this season and has been a definite contender. But Jeff has found himself in a few incidents. He had an excellent car at Watkins Glen last week until he put it around in the bus stop, I believe. But this is a guy who I expect to move up here and be a contender. Could have been a championship contender. He's certainly a race win contender. 10th in the points is Lecky, who is not here. We'll round that out and give you a rundown. I want to give a special shout out to the guy currently leading our board in the number 22 Menards car. That is the famous Flux driver on the European Tour side, Bruce Law. Famous for running GT3s, I believe. He's known also for some of the higher end cars, LMP2 earlier today. I believe he finished the LMP2 race as Lecky's making his way into race as well, giving us a 14th entry. But Bruce Law was over here stateside racing in Indianapolis at today's Flux LMP2 race. He hopped on the Penske jet to replace Muttley in the number 22 Menards ride. Came down here, turned some practice laps, and as of right now is sitting on the pole by half a second. So we could easily have a road course ringer come in here today and take an IndyCar win. Bruce Law leading at the top of the charts, and we're glad to have him over here. His reputation precedes himself on the Flux European Tour side. And he is currently sitting at the top of the leaderboard, coming over and pulling a Nigel Mansell on us in the IndyCars, it looks like. Let's find us a ride here that's getting towards the end. Jack will do, and we'll give you a track walk here as he comes down the front stretch. This little kink here under the start-finish line is technically turn 1 right there. Turn 2, oh, as he turns back. You know what? I'm just going to wait till the race to do your track walk. These guys keep doing that to me every single time we come out in qualifying when they're on their track walk lap. So I'm not even going to bother trying that anymore, folks. I will just wait until we are back in the race proper. Got another debutante here in the number 83 Ganassi car. Ganassi losing Mark C for the rest of the season after Watkins Glen, and we have brought in a Flux rookie, Haynes 66 dad. I'll get his name right here. Yep, Haynes 1966 dad. He will be starting today in the 83 car here at Laguna Seca and making a good account of himself so far. 1:08.5 has him 5th place on the board here in qualifying with 7.5 minutes to go. So we might have a couple of new talents coming in here at Laguna Seca. Championships on the line, but we got some at-large starters here looking to make a name for themselves in the series. Making a good account of himself so far in that 83 car. Mark C leaving the series after Watkins Glen last week. Haynes getting signed in by Ganassi in the Nova Nordis Trezeba Dallara Chevy. As we've said in past races here, those unfamiliar with American IndyCar racing, these are, as you see Haynes go around there on the back section, these are spec chassis made by Dallara. We then have an engine combination choice of Chevy or Honda. They come with separate aero kits for road course and oval. As you see, the road course aero kit, a much heavier right there. A little bit more of an aero package, obviously. But they promote incredibly close racing when the drivers keep them on the track. We've had quite a few incidents here in the inaugural IndyCar season in Flux. A lot of it due to some new drivers that are probably unfamiliar with this style of car. It is a formula car in essence, but as I've said before, it has a pretty much equal amount of power or close to it, with 50% more weight than a traditional Formula car like a Formula One car. So it's a different driving experience. The car changes. There are one of the interesting things not available here in qualifying, but in the race is, in lieu of KERS or DRS, it has 10 push to pass. It's like a 50 horsepower turbo boost that lasts about 10 seconds that you can do 10 times per race. You have 10 total in the bank. When they're gone, they're gone. You're going to see guys use 2, 3, 4 of them right at the start of the race, and then they'll save the rest for when they're racing one-on-one and looking to make a pass. And that is going to be absolutely key, because Laguna Seca can be absolutely brutal in terms of trying to get by someone. Immortals, we had a question from the viewers asking about the tires. You will not see it usually reflect in the graphic, but the road course option on the Indy cars are 2 Firestone tires. The reds are the alternates, or the soft tires, and the blacks are the primary, or the harder tires. They're designed specifically by Firestone to, there's a ratio they go for. I believe it's around 75-25, but if you're looking at, say, a 20 lap run, for example, you would get 20 laps consistently out of a set of primaries, and you would start tapering off at around 65-75% of the run if you're running the softs. The softs are, however, quicker. Some setups of these cars, however, make the primaries quicker. A number of these drivers will use a mix and matched set. They'll use hards on the front, softs on the rear, or they'll use hards on one tire that's taken a particular beating. That is legal here in the Flux IndyCar Championship, and you'll see a number of guys doing that. It just depends on your long-term strategy. These guys will have to stop for fuel. They will take on tires when they stop, as it's a simultaneous change in the Indy cars. So we're going to see quite a bit of excitement and action, but the push to pass will be absolutely key here. You're going to use a few at the start of the race to jockey for position, but you need to have some to fight with, because it's exceptionally difficult to pass at the 2.23 mile Laguna Seca circuit. I'd love to give you a track walk on it, but I'm going to wait till the race is up and going, because obviously guys keep jumping back into the pits on me. But at the moment, up top, we do have one heck of a battle for pole. Bruce Law making his debut in the at-large start here in the IndyCar Championship, currently just a 10th above Dale the Whale for that pole position. And the series regulars definitely want to get that bonus point, so Dale's going to be pushing hard for it. NZ Jack, no surprise to see him currently in third. McToasty, last week's winner, fourth. And still a bit of a surprise to see the series debutant Haynes' dad currently sitting fifth with 2.5 minutes to go. As we see Bruce go around there, so he's not going to improve it on that lap. Just a couple of surprises back here. My name is Jeff, coming down through that crazy corkscrew. We'll get later on into the story of Alex Zanardi's infamous pass here in the 1996 Laguna Seca IndyCar race, where he cut through there on Brian Herta. I still believe it should have been a black flag. Love Alex Zanardi, don't get me wrong, but still think it should have been a black flag. Jeff managing to make up a little ground there. He jumps past Cat Guy into 7th, but these guys are appearing to be, at least in qualifying, trim significantly off pace. We, however, have seen that change significantly. Significantly, you'll see it at, in these cars. We've seen usually a couple of seconds off of qualifying pace. Oh, as Jeff goes around there in turn 5. These guys, you'll see him be a couple seconds off qualifying pace in the race pace. You got to have something to keep the car under you for the full run. And these alternate tires can burn off pretty quick. Laguna Seca is notorious on these cars, on the tires. And if they're that bad, you may see guys make an extra stop. It's tough to tell. Depends on your goal for the race. Guys like One Shoe telling me he's aiming just to move up through the field and protect his spot of 5th in the championship, maybe make a run at the podium. So he just wants to stay out of trouble. Guys that think they got a shot at winning, they are definitely going to be pushing it and take an aggressive strategy. Down through the corkscrew comes Dale the Whale, as he's trying to steal that pole away. Corkscrew is definitely a trouble spot. Immortalis, as our viewers are saying, definitely could be the place where you see an accident here in these cars. They can get light coming down. This is going to be the last shot for Dale the Whale. He is the last guy with a crack at taking the pole from Bruce Law on his IndyCar debut. And so we'll see what he can do here. Comes through turn 3, now through turn 4, working the infield section as you can see on the map. Turn 5 is the fast left-hander. Appears to have that car dialed in pretty well here. Oh, when he goes wide, and that's going to cost him. That might be enough. I believe he's going to pull it back, and yes, he's going to have to concede the pole there. We got a couple of cars still on the track. But I believe we're going to see Bruce Law in the 22 taking the pole in his IndyCar debut here at Laguna Seca. We'll have to wait and see the last few seconds here, and we will give you your starting order. All right, here we go, folks. All right, folks, your starting order for tonight's 2021 Season 1 Flux Motorsport IndyCar Championship Round 7 at Laguna Seca. Taking the pole in his series debut in the 22 Menards car is the veteran Bruce Law. He will be flanked on the outside by Dale the Whale in the number 9 Target car. Starting third, NZ Jack in the blue NTT Data 10 car. His partner on the outside, last week's winner at Watkins Glen, Nick Toasty, 13. In his series debut, an excellent, impressive qualifying run from Haynes, number 66. Dad Haynes managing to qualify in the third row in the 5th spot. He'll be flanked on the outside in the Hydroxy-Cut car by It's Your Boy Squash. Starting 7th will be My Name Jeff in the 15 Rahal Letterman Honda. He'll be flanked on the outside by the 2nd place in the points, Green Gaiman. Your points leader, OGR Cat Guy, it's surprising to be all the way back there in 9th in the 61 PureTech car. He is driving injured this weekend, and he'll be flanked on the outside by the 4th place driver in points, Jiggly Jello, 10th. Starting 11th will be Survivor in the 28 DHL Honda. He'll be flanked on the outside in the Hydroxy-Cut car by CMC. And starting 13th on the field will be One Shoe in the number 6 Chevy, sitting 5th in the points, and he'll be flanked on the outside by Lecky in the number 3 Pennzoil Chevy. Well, that is our starting lineup for tonight's race, and we're looking forward to seeing a good show here. All right, getting on the monitor here. Shot down to the Andretti hairpin, turn 2. As I said, remember the little kink on the front stretch there is actually turn 1, so I refer to turn 2, the Andretti hairpin. That is going to be the key. Somebody's going to lose a wing. Maybe multiple people down there in turn 1. I expect to see that to some extent. They were surprisingly very clean in the American Sports Car Championship race last night, which was won by Super Crusher with his first career win, so congratulations to him. But who knows what we're looking at here. You know, now we've got Bruce Law in the field. We've got a couple of new guys here towards the end of the season, and the championship is still up for grabs. Been keeping an eye on Dale, Cat Guy, Jiggly Jello, Green Game as to how they're doing in the championship. But I think Bruce Law making his debut, as I said, coming in and pulling a Nigel Mansell here on the IndyCars, winning the pole in his debut. He was racing the LMP2s at Indianapolis earlier today, and caught the corporate jet over here to race at Laguna Seca, and we're glad to have the highly decorated Flux Motorsport veteran. All right, they are going to have to come around the turn 11 hairpin here in formation, so that's going to be interesting. Guys are going to have to be on the ball. 14 starters on the field. Just 5 seconds. I'm wondering what's taking them so long. There we go. All right, they're out and rolling. And we are green at Laguna Seca. The shot down to turn 1 is going to be key. Bruce Law holding it to the inside. Dale's trying to get a little bit to the outside. Dale makes contact with one of the track markers. I wonder if that damaged his wing at all. Got one car going wide, but otherwise appears to be fairly clean here. As Bruce comes out, NZ Jack gets the jump on Dale, who settles into third, and McToasty holding on to his spot in fourth. That was Haynes, 66 Dad, started in 5th place, and he was the car that went out wide. See if we can get a look at him as he's rejoined the track. Doesn't appear to have too much damage, but goes from that 5th place starting spot all the way back to the back of the field. This is a good place to get some chase cam action. On board with My Name is Jeff, who shot all the way up from 7th to 4th here on that start. Once these guys get single file, you're going to see some pretty fantastic racing. As Jeff's got McToasty, last week's winner at Watkins Glen, right on his tail. That's your battle for 4th place. And these guys taking out those track markers, and with these wings on these cars, you don't want to be doing that. As it appears the top 7 or so have got a little bit of a gap. Jiggly Jello and Lecky hitting the pits. I believe we're going to say we have damage here. Yep, missing rear wing on Jiggly Jello. Came in 4th in the points. That's going to hurt him, as is Lecky, who's missing his front wing. It's your boy Squash chasing Green Gaming down for 6th as they come through the corkscrew. These two just continuing to go at it for 4th place. Jeff got off to a good start, moved up from, I believe, 7th place in the starting order, all the way up to 4th, but he's got pressure all over him right now, as Bruce Law has been able to separate himself a little bit from Dale by a couple of seconds here in the early going. As Dale got back by Jack for 2nd place. Fights all over the field right now as they're starting to get themselves sorted out. It looks like Jiggly Jello and Lecky might be going a lap down. Let's take a look at where Bruce is and where they are. Yeah, Jiggly Jello and Lecky have gone a lap down already with that damage. Oh, we got a big wreck there. Is that Bruce? Who was that? Oh, Lecky got into it. We got a number of cars in turn 11. Lecky is one. Jiggly Jello, who just got out of the pits with damage, is another one. See who else we can find. We got a number of cars that piled in there in turn 11. We caught the tail end of that. Looks like it was Lecky again. Jiggly Jello got some. Can't tell if that was Haynes in there. We'll see who hits the pits here. And that will tell us who got the worst of that. But that was a bad accident there here in the early going in turn 11. And that'll mean 5 minutes in, we're going to have Jiggly Jello and Lecky back in the pits for the 2nd time. Jiggly, as we said, these are guys who came in, or Jiggly came in 4th in the points, so this is going to be a big hit for him. And battle back there for 11th is Haynes after that 5th place start and then falling to the back, trying to make a recovery drive. He's coming up on one shoe. He started in the last row, 5th place in points on the season, just trying to move up, keep the car clean. I think given the strategy one she was discussing before the race, he's more than likely not going to fight too hard for this. Go ahead and actually goes wide and tries to let him by, but Haynes has some kind of problem. I'm not sure there. Just missed the turn there in the Andretti hairpin, but tends to pick it back up. Look our looks back at the front. Bruce Law coming down the front stretch, ending lap 5, starting lap 6. He's got a couple of seconds from the pole spot on Dale the Whale, who is right there in your screen, not far behind him. There's Dale, still very much in sight, as they are running pretty much identical lap times. It's about 7 seconds back to 3rd place NZ Jack. My name is Jeff, back in 4th, and Toasty back in 5th. Let's go to our pole sitter here at the end of this one, and we'll give you the track walk here at Laguna Seca. All right, as Bruce comes down out of the final hairpin in 11, he will come down the front stretch, picking up speed as fast as possible. Start the lap. This little kink here is turn 1, and then down to the Andretti hairpin in turn 2. Hard on the brakes. There's 2 different lines to take through here. Each one is faster in different sections of it. I tend to like the one that gets you quicker coming out as you head down to turn 3. This is the part where it wants to push you off the track. You got to hold the car hard into the fast turn 4. Little burp of the throttle and back on the throttle. Full blast all the way through here down to the quick left-hander turn 5. Quick burp of the throttle. Get the grip on you. As soon as you feel that bite mid-corner, you put the throttle down. Up into turn 6. This is one of the tougher turns on the track. You've got to avoid getting off in the sand. This is the run-up. We got debris all over that. It's the Rahal Straight. As Bruce makes his way up down the corkscrew off the throttle, as soon as you feel the bite, you get back on it. He took that beautifully. And it looks like while we were doing that, Dale the Whale got into some of the wrecked cars. There was some debris on the backstretch. Something happened to Dale there, and he falls from right on Bruce's tail back to 4th place. And I'm not sure if he's banged that car up. We'll see if he hits the pits. And that is Haynes right there, who appears to have damage to his front wing as he makes his way back around into the pits. Not sure if that's where Dale got it. My name is Jeff is in the pits, and I'm going to assume, yes, he's missing a wing, so perhaps it was those two back on the Rahal Straight. But Dale the Whale got caught up in something, and those 2 guys who are both running well and are having problems. One shoe in the pits, and I'm guessing, unfortunately for him, he's got damage again. He has had terrible luck this season with getting into incidents, but meanwhile that has put Bruce Law well out in front. He now has nearly 10 seconds on the 2nd place car thanks to that wealth of incidents, and he appears to be in the driver's seat at the present time. CMC, who's moved up from the last couple rows into 8th place, looking for a good drive from him. He's had a tough season so far, but he is chasing Green Damon for 7th. Coming through the corkscrew, trying to get that Chevy to work for him. Just looking to steadily move up through the field at this point. He's having some bad push with that car. You can see that. I don't know if he's got something up with the suspension. The car looks okay, May just be the setup, but he's having trouble getting that thing turned. Nonetheless, he's managing to do pretty well, running in 8th. Once you're still on the pits, that is an extensive repair. That is just going to kill his chances that he was hoping to make a run at the podium this season. He had high hopes for this race. Meanwhile, Cat Guy, our points leader in the PureTech car, did not have the qualifying run he wanted in 8th. He's managed to move up a couple spots to 6th, but really hasn't had the pace here. So he's just looking to maintain where he's at. Alright, sorry folks, a little more audio difficulties. Back with you. As we said, Cat Guy managing to, just wants to maintain. As long as he's ahead of Green Game and not too far behind Dale the Whale, he'll feel pretty comfortable going into the final round at Texas. But the oval races, as you know, can be quite a crapshoot, so you want to try to build. He definitely wants to move up a few more spots before the end of this one. That was a long repair for one shoe. He lost multiple laps. That's definitely a tough situation there. On the onboard with Bruce, it looked like there was something going on in the Ray Hall Straight, and considering Dale, who was right behind him, got into it, I'm assuming those cars off the track were part of that kerfuffle, if you will. Alright, traffic coming up here for your leader, Bruce Law. He's holding 9.4 seconds on NZ Jack, as we see, I believe that's Survivor or Lecky going around there. Yeah, it was Lecky going around. Bruce has about 9 seconds on Jack, but he's coming up through traffic, as you can see by the blue dots on your map up there. He's coming up through lapped cars and has yet to make his pit stop. My name is Jeff, back on the pit lane, back in 10th place. But these guys do have a scheduled pit stop for fuel certainly, and for tires. And with that, I believe My Name is Jeff has just retired. Obviously having had trouble with the car. Had a good run going, got into an incident, and has retired the car from the race, leaving us 13 on the track. Oh, Bruce just misses Survivor there, who just went around. That was a very near miss for the leader. Wow. Survivor seemed to lose it. And he says, reports from the pit say Jeff couldn't get new tires. I know exactly what that is. It's when you set up your pit stops. You put recommended on, they will not give you tires until there's nothing left on them. So you definitely have to set up your pit stops and make sure you put specifically what tires you want on that car and when. Meanwhile, Bruce has extended the lead again because second place NZ Jack is struggling through that same traffic and appears to be struggling worse. But Bruce did get very lucky there. There's still a long way to go. We're just 15 and a half minutes into this 45-minute race, 29 and a half minutes still on the session timer. And these guys still have rounds of pit stops to make. And with cars all over the track, 13 still running, this is by no means a done deal. But these guys up front definitely have to work their way through the traffic a little better. Whoever does that the best is going to come out here with the edge. But Bruce, Jack, when he's had a clear track deal, they've set a torrid pace in the 109s and 110s so far. That's been very tough for these guys to keep up with in race trim. Yeah, we can give a rundown on the push to pass here. This will give you a read of what they used at the start, because I very seriously doubt that they used a whole heck of a lot of it in general running. Bruce has used just one push to pass. He's got 9 left in the bank. From the start, he was not on the front row, not in a position to need it quite as much. NZ Jack, all 10. He hasn't used one at all, so he's still got plenty left in the tank. Dale the Whale, 10. 7 for McToasty. You're going to start seeing that number drop the farther back in the field we go. Still 10 for It's Your Boy Squash. A lot of these guys not using them, which is surprising me. Maybe trying to find a place to have, and Green Gaiman's definitely dipped into it. He has only 4 left. He's used 6 of them so far. CMC has 7 in the bank, 8 in the bank for Survivor. All 10 still for Haynes. Jiggly Jello has all 10. Lucky has used 3. He has 7. And One Shoe is all 10. I think the big thing is It's Your Boy Squash hits the pit lane here for us. Looks like he's coming in for his routine service from 5th place. We'll see what he gets out of this as he comes down the long pit lane here at Laguna Seca. What we're going to see, I think, with that is, I think a lot of it is guys saving it for when they need to pass somebody, because there's not like a section of the track here where it's going to do you a whole heck of a lot of good to get on the push to pass. You might gain a couple tenths, but you're really saving it for when you need to get by someone later in the race. I think that's what we're seeing. As It's Your Boy Squash, routine service and out of the pits. He comes out slowly, checks back in, rejoins the track, probably loses a lap there on the cycle. Yeah, you definitely need stability more than you need the extra boost. This is not a speed track or a horsepower track. This is a handling track. It's one of those places, as we said, if you watched the GTE broadcast last night, I was pointing it out, that it's one of those places where it's not like a Daytona or Road America or something where you have a couple of corners where you go, you know, you want to be good everywhere, but you really got to set up to be quick coming out of turn 6 at Daytona, or, you know, whatever, because it's a long straightaway or a long oval section or what have you. You know, you really need to set the car up for there, because that's the biggest part. Laguna Seca is 11 turns, and there really isn't one. It's 11 different entries and exits you have to get good at, and a good lap here is a combination of them. And as a result, there's not, I mean, I don't do as much picking and choosing on the setup here. It's mostly just saying I need something stable all around. Coming through the corkscrew here, Green Gaiman running in 6th, doing what he's done most of the season, just kind of chipping along here mid-pack, looking to pick up spots. He's gaining on Cat Guy now as they're battling for 5th place. Cat Guy cycled up to 5th from his 8th place starting spot. 1-2 in points on your screen right there. And Green Gaiman knows he has to make up ground on Cat Guy, so he has to get by him and then hope that Cat Guy has some problems. A quick look at the timings. We got a 2-second penalty on Dale, but so he's definitely going to want to get by Jack as soon as possible as we're nearing halfway. As he's climbed back in on him now. Jack in the pits, pitting from second place. NZ Jack in the pits in the number 10 NTT Data Dallara Chevy from second. Let's see how he does. Going to be routine service. That's a tire change. Don't let the graphics fool you. Fuel's done. Maybe a slight bit of a repair. And out he goes. A little bit of a delay there at the end. Could have been a minor repair. Jack's going to come out. He'll cycle out here. Depends on where Cat Guy's at, but he'll be in 4th or 5th place. As we're starting to see the round of pit stops just before halfway. In the cockpit here with Survivor racing in 9th. About 20 seconds behind CMC, but working with lap traffic all around, or lapping traffic all around. Lets the faster car by there. That, I believe, was your leader. Yep. Putting another lap on him. All right, McToasty is in the pits. Last week's winner at Watkins Glen, pitting from 3rd place. As the routine service is starting now. McToasty rolling. He might be able, no, he's going to fall back to 6th on the way out here. McToasty's going to have a good view here of just about everything going on in front of him on the track. As he came out of that pit stop in 6th. Still very much a contender for the podium. Bruce Law really he's run extremely quick as CMC hits the pits as well. He's run extremely quick, but managed to avoid the worst of the trouble. He's had 9 lives so far, but it's far from a done deal. We are just past halfway. Survivor letting him by as a lapped car. Good sportsmanship there. CMC getting routine service in the number 11 Chevy. Dale made his way by NZ Jack on the cycle of pit stops. He has not been in yet. Running laps that are definitely there with Bruce Law, but he's 17 seconds back after getting in that trouble on the Rahal Straight back there, the Rahal Straight between 5 and 6 at the bottom of your screen on the map. I'm sorry, at the southeast corner between turn 6 and the corkscrew is the Rahal Straight. So Dale really has to start ticking off some laps and make a much better pit stop than Bruce Law if he hopes to have a shot at catching him, or hope that Bruce gets into some kind of trouble, which is certainly still entirely possible. They're running down on the 109s now as their fuel's getting lighter. These guys are definitely going to be in the pits, and in fact Bruce Law is in the pits from the lead, pitting on lap 21 here at Laguna Seca. He's led from the pole. He's had the reflexes of a cat burglar in terms of getting out of trouble, and now he's going to pit from the lead and try to maintain it. I don't think he'll maintain the lead here, but Dale is going to have to be in shortly as well. Quick stop, fuel, tire, service, gets it rolling. Dale does take the lead on the cycle of pit stops, but Bruce Law is out and looking to give his way back up to the front. battle for fifth as you've got Green Gaming in the background, McToasty in the blue car there in the foreground as they battle for fifth right now. McToasty's been in the pits. I don't believe Green Gaming has, and with McToasty running 3 seconds a lap faster on that last one, he's going to be looking to get by him as quickly as possible. This is a good time to set up and use a push to pass, as I'm sure McToasty's looking for right now. You do not want to keep losing time to a car that's on older tires than you. As Dale the Whale hits the pits from the lead. There's Dale in the pits on the arrow. There's Bruce Law already coming around, and he will take the lead right back here at Laguna Seca with 18:45 to go. Meanwhile, as we said, McToasty trying to get by Green Gaming. This is a point right now where, forget about the leader who's out in front. Jack's battle with Dale for second. This is affecting that battle because he's losing ground here as he's stuck behind Green Gaming. This is a time to probably set him up, use that push to pass, and he loses it. McToasty has spun it down there in turn 5. Let's see if he gets it rolling. He does. Track's pretty clear behind him. He's got one car coming, but that is going to cost him dearly, particularly in his battle to get past Dale on the cycle of pit stops. I think you'll probably see McToasty try to gather himself here, but as he loses a lap there to Bruce Law, the leader, lets Bruce Law by. That was a critical mistake right there. He was trying to make a move. He wanted to get close to Green Gaming coming out of the corner so that he had a shot at sneaking by him on the Rahal straight, but obviously lost the front end, or lost the back end coming through turn 5, and around he went. With all that action, Cat Guy's got a little bit of a gap moving up to 4th place. But that is not enough of a clinching gap at this point, with Green Gaming running back in 5th. And Dale the Whale running in 2nd. Little man's got some commentary here on the race. Personally thinks it's been a pretty damn good IndyCar race here at Laguna Seca. These guys have done a pretty good job staying out of trouble. We've had a few incidents, but it's been cleaner than some of the races this season, and Bruce Law's put on a terrific performance. Now's the time with 16.5 minutes to go in the cars with a little separation to give you the run through the field. Up front, of course, in the 22 Menards car is Bruce Law, making his series debut. Was over here, as we said earlier, to run Indianapolis in the LMP2s. He shot over here, took over the Penske ride vacated by Muttley, and he has come out and run fantastically here as an at-large starter at Laguna Seca. He's been terrific. Took the pole, still running down the 109s and holding a 17-second lead. All he's got to do is stay out of trouble and bring home his first career IndyCar, Flux IndyCar win, and add that to a trophy case with a lot of other wins. Dale the Whale currently sitting in 2nd place, 18 seconds back. You follow their arrows on the map there, you can see relative track-wise to where they're at. He's a good distance behind as he comes up into turn 6 and onto the Rahal straight. He's made that car work pretty well here today, and probably would like to see what kind of shot he would have had if he didn't get into that problem behind Bruce when they were on the Rahal straight. Green Gaming hitting the pits finally here with 15 minutes to go, pitting from 5th place. Going to get his quick stop done there as we rejoin with the 3rd place car, NZ Jack, who, very similar to what we saw, was it last week at Watkins Glen, or it was at Road America in round 5 a couple weeks ago. Jack was very quick in the first half of the race, and then in the second half of the race we saw his lap time start to fall off, I don't know if it's a setup issue, if he's having trouble with the tires. What I'm inclined to believe is he might want to start picking up a little on how to make the roll bar adjustments in the car on the track, which you can set on your wheel. Making those roll bar adjustments could help. But we've definitely seen him fall off, little by little in the second half of races the last few weeks, and I think that might be a car issue as Cat Guy, our points leader, hits the pits. Pitting from 4th place, he's going to lose 4th place to McToasty. I believe when McToasty comes around, but this will be Cat Guy's lone service, I believe. Might be trying to short fill, get a quick pit stop. McToasty's gone by him for 4th place. Squash has gone by him for 5th. And now he's going to try to hang on in front of Green Gaming, his closest competitor in the championship. Lecky back in the pits again. Once again, some wing damage, so those Penske guys have been busy. Cat Guy rejoining. He's about 6 seconds behind It's Your Boy Squash for the top 5. Call there to It's Your Boy Squash running in 5th. In the hydroxy cut car. Came from mid-pack in qualifying. He's moved up a bit. He's 13 seconds behind McToasty. He's going to need to get on it if he's going to catch up to him and move up. But he's got Cat Guy 5 seconds back. Desperately wanting to put some more points on Green Gaming in the championship. If it finishes as it is, Dale and Green Gaming would keep themselves alive in the championship heading into Texas next week, which is why every position is vital. And we do have a battle for position here for 8th place as CMC in the hydroxy cut car with a solid drive into 8th. He's got the debutante. Got to give a shout out to Haynes' dad, who is making his debut. He had a great qualifying run, managing to qualify in 5th place. And on the first lap, immediately went off track and came from the back. But he has persevered. He's currently running 2 laps down, but he has persevered and has moved back up into the top 10, and he's challenging CMC now for 8th place. Locking up the brakes a little right there as these two are going at it. Both of these guys on the push to pass as we speak. Jiggly Jello hitting the pits again. Perhaps damage. Oh, Haynes gets by. CMC goes around in between turns 3 and 4. Doesn't appear to be contact. That's going to put Haynes into 8th place. Those guys were definitely burning into the push to pass right there. But Haynes managing to get by CMC, still within striking distance. McToasty's back on the pits, and we have a missing front wing. That is going to be a big one. The winner last week at Watkins Glen, definitely a contender, and more importantly, valuable positions in the race for the championship points leaders. McToasty, high expectations after last week's Watkins Glen win, but he is definitely run into some problems. They're replacing that front wing, and he is losing his top 5 position. So an early contender in this race. Started in the front 2 rows, falling back to mid-pack with what looks like extensive repairs. That's going to move It's Your Boy Squash into 4th Cat Guy into 5th, Green Gaming into 6th, and we'll see how many more positions McToasty might fall here. Up front, Dale and Bruce continue to basically match lap times with each other, but that gap that Bruce has built appears to be enough as we're inside of 10 minutes. Coming up through lap traffic, that could be something, but Dale would need a lot of help at this point, or an accident mistake from Bruce to really get back into this. Bruce being very patient in that Dallara is just waiting for the opportunity. He knows he does not have to outrun Dale anymore. He just has to outrun him, or he just has to manage the decline, really, manage the gap. One shoe back on the pits, unfortunately. Another rough night for him. Somebody out of the race. Not sure who that was. Maybe we can get a report. Seventh place car, perhaps. Not McToasty. Anybody's got a word out there in the pits from our pit reporters, let me know. But somebody blown out and we're down to 12 cars left. Somebody blew a motor and we're down to 12 cars left with 8 minutes to go. Bruce still working through traffic, and that's allowing Dale to catch up a little, but still a rather large gap of 16 seconds as Dale's working his way through, coming down into the Andretti hairpin again. Toasty came out in 8th place after that damage. Yeah, it does indeed look like Lecky. Yeah, good call. Lecky retiring the car. Obviously some motor trouble. He did not have the race he was looking for. Meanwhile, battling for position, McToasty is back into his cockpit as he's coming up on Haynes. He's got a shot at him to regain some ground. Do not know if that's the case anymore, Daz. I have not run a full-time series since 2019, and it's been a while since I've run these cars. At one time, yes, I had a pretty decent record in these cars, but not too sure right now. In most of the preseason testing I joined in, I was mid-pack on the speed chart. But, you know, hopefully someday I will be back in the series, and after a season of 2 of getting my butt handed to me, I might be able to get back up to speed, but I had a good record at places like Indianapolis. Yeah, we had a good thing going for a while there. 4 Indy 500s between us and 4 championships. Meanwhile, oh, Haynes onto the pits. I'm going to guess that's a damage repair. He had moved all the way up to 7th place, so that has to be a disappointment there, as he was making a fine account of himself in his debut. Still a good race for him, but going to lose what could have been an even better finish. Let CMC back by. As CMC is working on Green Gaming a lap down. Green Gaming running in 6th and racing with CMC. CMC fearing to let him by as he's a lap ahead. As we're down to 5.5 minutes. Haynes fell back to 10th, making recovery drive round 2, trying to catch Survivor here. He can get a position right there and a few extra points if he can keep it on the track. Ooh, it's your boy Squash. He went around there. That is in the turn 1 Andretti hairpin. Cat Guy either just avoided it. He wasn't close enough to where I think he would have been part of that wreck, but that gives Cat Guy 4th place, and that is not what Green Gaming and Dale wanted to see. That, in fact, my math could be off here. But if I have it correct, 35, 30, 27, 25, 23, down to 5th. That would mean that from 4th place, and if Dale finishes in 2nd, that would be enough points to eliminate Dale from the championship. Although Green Gaiman would still technically be in it, although he is going to lose some serious ground here if he doesn't get past It's Your Boy Squash and catch up to Cat Guy. So Cat Guy's not yet in a position to clinch the championship, but he's putting it in a position where heading into Texas, he is definitely in the driver's seat, where a race finish should be enough to get him the inaugural IndyCar championship. Still 3.5 minutes plus to go. All right, back with you inside of 3 minutes now. Battles for positions kind of tapering off. Haynes still trying to catch Survivor for 9th, but got to give credit up here at front. Bruce Law in his series debut, coming over from the UK. Made the race here today at the LMP2s at Indianapolis, shot on over the Laguna Seca. He came out, he won the pole by a narrow margin over Dale, and then really, given the pace these guys have run, it was the start of the race that did it. They were nose to tail from each other. Both of them got off to good starts, separated themselves from the field a little bit, and then whatever happened up there in the Rahal Straight involved a couple of cars that were around. Dale obviously got caught up in it or spun to avoid it, and from that point on, Bruce jumped out in front and has maintained about the gap. He has done some conservative driving here once he has the gap. I don't believe he's been pushing as hard. We saw him behind traffic just waiting it out. He was obviously not pushing as hard, but gives you a big what if. If Dale gets through that situation too, we might have had a situation like we had last night between Super Crusher and McToasty in the GTE race. But nonetheless, it has been just a virtuoso drive here from Bruce Law. Take the pole, you get out of trouble, you be smart through traffic. Looking at the time when he hits the line, this could be the white flag lap. It depends on when Bruce hits the line. He probably has the option of burping it near the end here, but we could be on the white flag lap, lap 38 on the board. Haynes and Survivor going at it. Haynes, however, with a 50-second penalty. That's a pit lane violation penalty, so that's going to make that battle for position moot. He's going to end up staying back there in 10th place. All right, meanwhile, down through the corkscrew for what could be the last time. Bruce Law looking for that debut IndyCar win. Remember to turn the notifications off on here. My apologies, but as Bruce Law brings it around, is he going to cross the line or is he going to burp it? He lets it expire and takes home the win. Bruce Law in the 22 Menards Dallara Chevy, winning on his debut from the pole. A fantastic run to take home the win. As I said, drove a virtuoso's race. Dale the Whale bringing it home in second, an excellent drive for him. And it looks like a lap down, NZ Jack will bring it home on the podium. Cat Guy attempting to bring it home here in fourth place. He had Squash right on his heels there for fourth place at the end. But Cat Guy will hold on, and he'll take that. That is an excellent drive for him coming in injured. Didn't get a great qualifying run, but managed to bring it home. Squash with a good run, brings it home in fifth. But it's Bruce Law who's the hero of the day. All right, and we are going to have your final results here for the Flux Motorsport 2021 Season 1 IndyCar Championship Round 7 at Laguna Seca. With the win on his debut, Bruce Law, a fantastic run. The 109.042 is, I believe, narrowly also the fastest lap. So the perfect weekend for Bruce Law as he takes maximum points here on his debut. Dale the Whale with a great run in the target car. Would love to have seen if he could have got up there. He's going to end up in second, and flanking them on the podium will be NZ Jack with a fantastic drive himself out of the NTT Data car. Your points leader, a Cat Guy, brings it home in fourth. Really a solid run for him. He was just looking to stay in the ground, and considering where he finished, he might have eliminated Dale from the championship with that. It's your boy Squash with an excellent drive, brings it home in fifth. Green Gaiman came in second in points. He's going to stay alive in the championship, but only narrowly heading into the last round in Texas. Cat Guy can clinch with pretty much a finish next week, but Green Gaiman brings it home in sixth, did all he could do. Seventh was McToasty. He had tough luck, definitely a contender for the podium today. Had that damage, manages to recover drive into seventh. Survivor with an eighth place run in the DHL car. A solid finish for CMC. He was in ninth. Could have had probably a couple more spots, but overall an excellent run for him to finally get that car finished, get some more points on the board. Haynes' dad, 1966, finishes in 10th on his debut. He qualified fifth here in his first race, and definitely had an opportunity to finish a little bit higher and to move up. He had a couple little bits of trouble throughout the race, but nonetheless an impressive debut for him. Jiggly Jello brings it home in 11th. One Shoe, another hard luck outing, comes home 12th. Lecky drives it home, retiring in 13th place. So that is going to do it here from Laguna Seca Raceway. We will see you back tomorrow when the GT3s will be in action on the European Tour side. That is at 8 p.m. Eastern, or I'm sorry, 8 p.m. UK time, at 3 p.m. Eastern. They will be down at the Dubai Autodrome in the United Arab Emirates. And tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. UK, the American Tour continues with the Stock Car Championship Round 7 at Indianapolis. So for all our viewers, Flux Motorsport, we remind you to go to FluxMotorsport.com. You can join by the Discord. Head to our store, find all the swag that you want, discounts on top industry items, and we will look forward to seeing you back at the track tomorrow. Have a good night.